सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच सोचे सोच न होई जे सोची लखवार चुपे चुप न होवई जे लाई रहा लिवतार भूखिया भूख न उतरी जे बन्ना पुरिया पार सहसियान पलक होई ताइक न चले नाल केउ सचियारा होइए केउ कूड़े तुट्टे पाल हुक्म रजाई चलना नानक लिखिया नाल शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवा स्वरूपोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवा स्वरूपोऽहम् नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं मुक्तोऽहं नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Advaitamananda Rupam Arupam Advaitamananda Rupam Arupam Brahmoham Brahmoham Brahma
Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to this satsang with Moojibaba. Welcome to those of you present in the room and also to everyone joining us from around the world for this fantastic blessing to be with this great master for another Sunday Satsang. So for those joining online, we want you to know that today we are translating in several languages: Spanish, French, Russian, Italian, Portuguese, and Turkish. That's it. And you can find those translations just by clicking on the flag that you see right there on this broadcast page. So for those of you who are present in the room, how many is it for you? Is it your first time coming to meet Moojibaba in person for satsang? Very nice. So usually we like to say that if it's your first time here in satsang, big welcome. And it's very good just to be present and to not be in a rush to raise your hand and ask a question, and just get a feel for how things flow in this satsang. And then for those of you who are familiar with the teaching and perhaps have been here before, this is your opportunity to really bring forward your questions for freedom. And we always remind that this opportunity is so rare, and to make best use of this time and to not bring forward any domestic questions. Really bring forward your burning questions that serve you and everyone who's joining this satsang. So occasionally after satsang, Moojibaba will read some letters. This happens sometimes after the satsang. He takes a short break and then returns. And if that's going to happen today, we'll let you know. And if that does happen, the broadcast will continue. So we'll indicate that at the end of the satsang today. Now, this is the last Sunday satsang until September, actually, as the current schedule stands. It's kind of an unusual year because this summer Moojibaba will be doing some traveling. So we urge you to look at the website to check the schedule. And also wanted to let you know about the retreat in Holland that will take place in August. You can find information about it on mooji.org. And it just opened for registration on Friday, and it's already filling up very quickly. So we thought we'd just point it out to you today. Thanks for your attention, and Moojibaba will be with us shortly.
just for once come to me. Will thou come, just for once come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing you, my Lord? Will my days
Okay. So, Namaste, welcome everyone to Satsang today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome to the friends who are joining us from different places around the world for today's Satsang here in Monte Sahaja. So, very good. Good, good, good. So? Wow. Okay, you come say something.
Thank you, Mooji.
Thank you.
So, the person sees this seeking as its highest wish, its only real desire, but the active looking is not happening. There is no sitting down in an asana looking like questioning.
Asana not important. Asana is the very looking itself. The earnestness of the seeking, you may regard that as sufficient asana.
But there is like a seeing that maybe there should create some guilt or some kind of frustration so that I will more intensely seek. Instead, there is now just a passive, vague witnessing.
Yeah,
so
yes.
Just
it's okay.
Because there's
you want some fire? You want some fire?
Not some fire, but...
No, but I understand what you mean, because sometimes it feels as though some kind of friction is needed, something to make you work for it a bit more, no? Because if times are too good, when we are simply sort of joyriding the state of being, rather than really coming to the experiential conclusion of it, then it will not be felt to be sufficient, and someone like yourself was quite right to stand up and say, actually, I'm wondering if there's some kind of laziness or does something need to happen, for me to really take this seriously, you see. How long has it been like that? Just since you've been here or for a long time?
I suddenly had a spontaneous experience about 2-3 years back, and then after that I was actively looking.
Yes.
And then after a while it just became sort of passive seeing. And so because I'm not sitting down and going into it, like deeper into it, I cannot, as passive seeing, the question, can the seer be seen, doesn't go into that black hole.
You have to be ready for that, no? Somehow. It's, yes. Because I see that there's some urge for going more deeply, but it seems as though the life force is not moving in this way. It is okay though. Maybe you want to... what have you found though? You say 3 years ago you came, you had an experience, and
I didn't
since
come
then,
here, but I think I started off with Kundalini. My family does that. And then in the beginning, the first time I experienced something else, I was very actively, I tried Vipassana, I tried all these mantras, I went to all these Sadhguru courses. So I was actively looking, and then when I found Ramana, I was satisfied, this is what I want to do. So I found you, and your teachings and your practice was very helpful towards that. But I am not sitting down, trying to get empty. I'm not doing that. Instead, it's just life is a little bland, and I'm just looking.
life is felt to be a little bland and
It's
just sort of
beautiful. Wildflowers, wow, but...
Yes, but you're not here for flowers. You're not here for friendship.
Yes.
Not here for, nice holiday. You came for freedom, no? Okay, this. maybe there has still been some concepts about what to be free is, what it means to be free, what is it for you, what it means, freedom.
Well, right now I have a lot of free time. So I basically sit in like some kind of sadness will arise, I'm watching it, it doesn't seem that important, I know it's a passing feeling, but like it's me seeing these
Isn't
things
there
happen.
everything that you are experiencing a passing sensation?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And there must be more, like there must be more than this feeling that
Well,
there is.
okay, you give me a little something. You say, if everything that you are perceiving, you recognize to be something passing, no? Everything you perceive, whether it is joyful or sorrowful, it is just another sensation passing, okay? Okay? And that which observes the appearing and the disappearing of all these states and sensations. Give me a reading about that itself. Is that also passing? You are witnessing all these.
Strength of the witnessing does have a strengthening, and like there is a stronger recognition of the witnessing and a lesser recognition of the witnessing, but it's always there.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I think you'd call it an impure witness. There is interest. The witnessing, there's an interest in like, this is a sad feeling. This is interesting.
Yeah. But that is also watched, no? It comes up in
the
the scene.
watching is consistent, but the intensity of the watching,
No, because
something
anything that
changes.
you're seeing, whether it is a feeling or an object or something like that, no? You're noticing that also it's here for some time, but generally
Yes.
things are not fixed.
Yes.
And if they're not fixed, if they keep changing in their intensity, in their shape and so on, it is not reliable what you're seeing. It means that at any moment it changes again, isn't it? So for these things, have you come to see this or not?
I see this, and I see the person, I see these emotions, and it just is the way it is, and I kind of have come to accept that. Like, if you ask me who I am, and I tell you that I'm the collection, if I tell you I'm the person as in the collection of heart feeling, mind thinking, body acting, then I am just an impermanent, unreliable self.
You're just...
A person, like I'm a changing person is...
Yes.
That's like, if you ask
so
me who
changefulness is perceived, and person also is perceived or not?
Yeah, person is perceived as this changing entity, yes.
By what is it perceived? We're not giving mental answers and mental questions now. I'm just asking you just to be with what you're saying now. If they are perceived, what is perceiving them?
Oh, the awareness of...
Their awareness is perceived. In the awareness they are perceived. And what is the climate of awareness? How does that... Is it sad about what is...
No.
Or happy about it?
I want to say it's just nothing, but that sounds cliche here. It's just there.
It's just here. Yeah. Then, but there's a little feeling of disappointment.
Yeah, there's a little feeling of disappointment.
Yes. Whose disappointment? The awareness is disappointment or something else?
No, the awareness is not disappointment.
Oh, so the thing that is disappointed is also seen or not?
Yes.
So don't identify with that. Also, that's also a thing perceived. Do now like that. If you can recognize that even the feeling like, but it's all perceived, and this is perceived, and even this is perceived, it's perceived, okay? And I said the one who is, that is also perceived now?
Yes.
Okay. So you cannot be even that one,
Yes.
although it feels almost intimate, it feels very near, no? And that's also perceived. So if all that you're perceiving is out there on the screen of perception, no? That which perceives them, is that disappointed? Does it have expectations?
No.
Go more, come, look more, say something more.
Say what?
Something more. You say. Because there's a gesture like, yeah, yeah, but it's also seen. That which sees is that.
So the is the person, and the awareness doesn't feel the That's it.
Well, it not necessarily doesn't feel it. It is also perceived, that reaction, which is getting nearer to what you may feel is your identity, the one that's feeling, yes, so what? Okay? The one who is at the so what state, that is also seen too, no? By what is it seen?
Just the same thing that sees everything else.
Yes. Would that be you or something else?
Would identify it as me.
Sorry?
I would identify it as me because,
Yes.
like awareness, when you ask, like it's normally like it's the I am, like just existence, just being. So, yeah.
Let's say that existence also can be perceived.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yeah. You know, where are you in all of this? Are you, as I said before, an object also in front of the lens of perception? Or are you behind the lens of perception? Or are you both? Or you're none of it? What is it?
An object.
Should I say again?
Yes.
Would you, your position in all of this that we've spoken so far, are you also an object being perceived in the lens of perception? Are you something being watched? Or are you the one watching through the
I am the one watching.
Yeah, you're the one watching. You have interest in what you're seeing?
Sometimes. Deeply? Not deeply.
No. So if you have, okay. At the times when you feel that you have interest in the things perceived, that is also perceived.
Yes, it's always the more
in the
bigger the waves,
yes.
The bigger the waves, the easier it is to perceive them.
Yes, but even subtle things are perceived.
Yes.
Also. Yes. So that in which all these perception and the functioning of perception takes place, that itself, can it be described in any way?
I'm having a hard time catching what you're saying right now.
I understand why also. You see, somehow all that you have felt you have seen or perceived throughout your life has helped to shape the identity you think you are right now. Everything, even what someone else has said, you know, it's only because you have accepted that. You say, Einstein said this. You say, even whatever Einstein say, you are showing that you accept that. You know, that whatever, you may not know Einstein, you only has a name, and you may say, okay, you know, Einstein said that, and you believe it. So it joins somehow the reference of knowledge that you have. Does it make sense?
Yes, but
okay.
Isn't me listening to you and conditioning myself to see in this way also...
Is it a conditioning? Is it a conditioning?
It's there, the same way the body is there.
What is there, same way as the body is there?
The same way the witnessing is there, the body is there, the mind is there.
The witnessing changes though, depending on who the identity is behind it. If you're a person, the person is also capable of witness.
Yes.
But the person witnesses with some sort of distorted attachment and distortion, so it's not pure witnessing. In the field of the pure witness, you see, there is no bias, there's perception, I'm only asking you to see, how can that be a conditioning? Just an opportunity to look in a way perhaps that you have not done so acutely before, you know.
I will admit it's not acute. The looking is not acute enough, and that's what I want. Once you said that you don't really have a choice, the only choice you kind of have is whether to be a person or whether to witness.
Yes, who was I talking to? Who would be the one who received what I said? This is important, you see. If you don't understand me at the moment, it's okay, we'll come around to another way. But when I was making this statement, as you're recalling now, who was I speaking to? That there's nothing you can do. What would I be addressing you as if I say to you, well,
Person.
that's a person, you see. And I would only be doing that if you insist on, on claiming that position as you. And I say, well, the person cannot do very much.
So my question is, do I have a choice in looking acutely? Like, do I have a choice in sitting down, getting deeper? Do I have a choice in that? Or am I supposed to just keep perceiving until eventually
Do you have a choice to follow what I'm asking you to do now?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I don't know, because sometimes you will say something and maybe it will move me, or maybe it will make me go somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that is not a choice for me, it's just a happening the same way everything else happens.
Okay, well, if everything is just happening, then don't interfere with it. It seems to be going fine by itself. If it's just happening, no, it's true. If the things are happening by themselves, why trouble them? Are they happening fine?
Yes, very.
Then okay, so you let them happen. Are you yourself a happening?
A happening, yes. I am a happening, yes.
You are yourself a happening?
Yes.
And what happens to see that? What is seeing that yourself is a happening? Is that it? Is that also a happening? No, you got thinking eyes now. You started. No, but you can look now. No?
It seems, yes, the witness is a happening, yes.
The weakness is a happening.
Yeah.
Yes. If the weakness is a happening, what knows that?
The witness knows that.
No, don't. We're not playing with words. I'm getting somewhere with you, I thought. No?
I don't know.
Hmm? Yeah.
I seem to be running away from you.
Say what?
Something somewhere. It's hard to focus.
That can happen, especially when you're actually coming onto something, when you're really approaching the thing that really matters. The mind begins to throw stones in the bush, so you start to look over there. And then you cannot keep your focus. Have you experienced this before, that sometimes there's a power in you that is afraid to follow what I'm speaking?
Yes.
Yes. It is in everybody. There's a force inside. It's part of the play of duality. There's a force inside that is fighting against deeper understanding. It's fighting against even the possibility of you awakening to a higher state of consciousness. And so as we begin to look, because I'm not giving up, you see, I'm keep pushing, then it starts to get irritated.
Yes.
Why don't you leave me alone? I mean, go to somebody else, But you put your hand up, no? And so I'm asking, and I feel that it is good to stay with it, and you keep exposing, okay, now my mind wants to run.
Of staying
Forget
with it?
about choice. You want to sit down or you want to talk about it and look? Is that choice?
No. So is this it?
I don't know what you're talking about. Is what it?
I mean, do I just keep going the way I'm going until I hit something?
How are you going? You don't seem you're going anywhere.
Yes,
How are you
it
going?
doesn't feel that way.
Maybe you read too much. You read a lot?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Preoccupies the mind.
Huh?
Occupies the mind.
We're all occupying mind. We're all giving a lot of importance to mind. So, of course, it feels very, very much a part of who you are. There will come a time, hopefully not too long, when it will not have the kind of influence it has over your attention as it probably does at the moment. For this reason I'm speaking with you, because if you understand and can follow the pointings, it's not difficult. It only because of resistance make it feel difficult. Actually, it's simpler than simple. It is not because it is complex. It's because the mind itself and identity is in resistance to it. I will tell you what happened also, if you will just bear with me a moment or two. Someone came to see me in London when I was in my small apartment in London, and he was speaking. First he was saying, I don't think anybody's ever been happy. I don't think there's any happy people, and I think people just pretend to be happy. And I said, oh, okay. But he said, but I want to ask you, because you seem to be happy, how is it possible to be happy? So we started talking like that, but somewhere in the conversation, I started talking about him. Where are you speaking from? Something like this, no? And he said, as I put the light on him a little bit, he said, Mooji, can I have a glass of water, please? Can I have water? Oh, okay. Yes, you go in the kitchen, you can get some water. You drank water very slowly. So I said, should we carry on? He says, okay. So again, I was just pushing like this, because it's very important to do this. But when you speak from this place, who are you referring to as yourself? And he says, it's a bit hot in here, no? Can we open the door? My place is very small, so everything is within reach. Open the door, okay. Okay, so again, like this, like I'm speaking with you. And we came to another point, and he says, sorry, can I go to the toilet?
Yeah, I feel that now.
Yes. So I said, you know what, why are we going through this? You don't have to go through this, I can sit here, watch TV, have a cup of tea. I don't have to talk. You can leave anytime you want. You're not a prisoner here. And only then he says, my mind just wants to get out of here, My mind just wants to run away. It doesn't want to be here. So I said to him, does that mean you want to run away?
No.
Right. So then I said, then sit down and talk. And then we looked, and then after just a minute or two, all that resistance fell away in him. He was laughing. He's laughing like this. So what are you laughing about? He says, maybe I'm happy, So it's the same thing I'm asking like this. Something inside, when you've come to a certain point, and it's important now because I didn't want to take up all day. Let's come to this point and see if we can catch hold of why, what is happening here. Because whatever it is that feels, okay, a bit, almost to the point of maybe being cynical about it, because it's not getting anywhere and so on. And I said, but even that state is also seen. Then, at the place where it is also seen, what is seeing? What is it that is seeing? That the very function of seeing or perception is happening in front of it, but it is not passionately involved in that. Just all things are seen. Just in the morning, you somehow the waking state happens, and you're right there. Did you just begin? Something is aware of that, aware of the feeling of the person coming up and so on. I want you to look from this place and see what emotions does that suffer from, or what does it want to do?
Nothing.
Does it have any dreams to fulfill?
No.
Okay, so if that is true, does it go?
No.
No. And you are aware. Different from that?
No.
What is your feeling now? Can this be described, you see? What remains now? Can it be described now?
I have no answers for you.
No answers. Is there any disappointment for you?
No. I don't know.
Are you containing anything? Are you a container for all these feelings now?
Seems that way.
You have a form, a clear form that you are?
Yes.
Which is what?
The body.
I'll leave it for a moment.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I see for you?
I'm only hesitating because I talk too much, and this is too important to bury in words. Your beautiful sangha, the world sangha, the world. I knew this community was special, isn't even the right word, extraordinary, divine, a beautiful gem of God. And I've watched it grow and thrive, and this beautiful spot on the planet just brighten everything in this world, and all of us who through grace were brought to you, to this. And I didn't know I'd be able to come, but it didn't seem to matter if I came, because I've been here all along. And then a miracle of yours, of grace, of everyone's manifestation, produced all the circumstances that brought me here. And I thought I knew what I'd be experiencing. I thought I was experiencing it virtually through the screen, and I was. But your sangha, they are so beautiful. They are so exquisite in their love, and they are all you. All of them, they're you. I met you 1,000 times in 10 days. so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all, Sangha, for being here and bringing this beloved Master to all of us. You are the best of the best. This is the best of the best, in my humble opinion. Okay, simmer down, sure. That's all. Thank you.
First I see you. Here come. Yeah. Yes.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
I feel to start with a thank you for calling me home. For the beautiful sangha, both here and in London. You've held my hand and walked me every step of the way. But to keep it brief, Guruji, I have a request. My request is, in this form, I don't know if I will have a tomorrow. This house is on fire. Please, 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 turn up this fire full of power, Guruji, and burn everything that I am not. Because I don't want to die before I have lived.
Thank you. Because of someone just like you, we made all these YouTubes, you know. Because someone, we made one, I think the first YouTube we ever made, I don't know anything about making these things, it's not, but one was made, and then I wasn't sure about it, because someone came many years ago in Tiruvannamalai, a man walked up to me and said, "Why don't you put some of the satsangs on YouTube?" I thought, what is YouTube? I thought it was some kind of microwave or something. And he said, no, because everybody's watching something, you know. So I am a little bit naive with these things. So we made one, and then someone wrote and say, "Doctors, I'm sick I'm in hospital and I cannot leave this room. And I want to thank you because through this video you made, you came into my room and showed me freedom." And I cried because I couldn't. It was a test to see, is it possible that what we are sharing here in this intimate environment, is it possible for something like technology to convey that, the spirit of that love? And so, and that was the proof, because I never met this person in form. And he has left his farm now. But because of that, we started to make YouTubes. Because I found that even through the medium of this, people were waking up to the truth of themselves. You know, and I thought, this is really wonderful. And then someone like you now speaking like this, that, whatever is there, turn up this fire, leave nothing unburnt. Burn what I am not. Maybe one day the world will have such a prayer. Let us not burn each other. Let us burn only what is not true. Can you imagine How beautiful. Let's stop hurting each other over our own delusions. And by God's grace, let each one wake up to the inner beauty of the self, so that this life is spent well. You've used your life well. You've attained freedom. What is freedom? It's not just idea, oh yes, I know this, I can say these smart things. No, it's that your life becomes the proof that God exists. Blessed is the one whose life is the evidence of the truth. For this reason I come. So like anyone who feels the love which is not merely personal, can only serve. Or you have the taste, the privilege of service, to do whatever can be done to facilitate the clear understanding of who we are in the heart and in the mind. You see? If this is genuinely someone's prayer, how can it not be heard? You see? So when you say things like that, you put my heart on fire also. You see? Because, yes, that's what moves me. And for sure, the grace of God works in such a way that even as you sleep, even as we sleep, yes, we are expanding in that understanding, maturing through grace. It need not be some strenuous work. Just that your heart is becoming more open to this. You begin to appreciate, you begin to recognize the great miracle that within your own self, something perfect is there already. No human being can perfect it. You see? You can only discover. And satsang is for that, to discover that. And so that the mind does not have dominion over you, over your heart. It never has. It's just we dream it. It's never true. When you recognize again completely in the heart the truth of yourself, it is already beyond familiar to you. The more you lose of yourself, the more you find of yourself. Another way, the more you lose of what you are not, lose the idea you have of yourself, the more you discover you're always here. You take everything away, you're what remains. Put everything back, you're what remains. You have to notice. Sometimes we have to leave everything aside to find the one thing that cannot be left aside. The one thing that cannot be removed. To find that. When you find that, you can put everything back. It won't matter. So we have to be cured from that delusion, you see, that we are merely our body, mind and conditioning. And you must know this beyond merely intellectual conviction. It must be closer than intimacy. Not even close is not good, because close still means apart even. You must be so one with this, And it is happening if you... What is our role? That is to cooperate with the grace. welcome it, appreciate it, love it, be it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guruji, if I may be so bold, one more request. Although you are already here, always have been, may I come?
Yeah. Good. Good. Wonderful. Thank you. So beautiful, isn't it? So beautiful to feel that love that's inside.
It always has been.
Yes. And to meet anyone who is yearning for God. This is beautiful. This is all the food I need. Wonderful. Thank you so. Thank you.
London Sangha, I love you. Sahaja Sangha, I love you.
Wonderful. So wonderful. Thank you. Who is it? You come? Yes. You are ready?
Yes.
Yeah, come then.
Maybe ask the Portuguese.
Portuguese translation, please.
Muito obrigada, querido mestre,
Thank you very much, beloved Master,
pela sua paciência comigo,
for your patience with me,
pela paciência da sua sangha comigo.
for your patience with the Sangha with me.
Desde que eu iniciei essa jornada em busca da liberdade,
Since I began this journey in search of freedom,
quando eu consegui chegar mais perto de você,
when I managed to come closer to you,
muitas vasanas surgiram aqui, nesse corpo, nessa mente, nesse coração.
many vasanas arose inside this heart and this mind.
Eu fiquei doente.
What arose? What?
Vasanas?
Vasanas.
Eu fiquei doente durante muito tempo, e doente fisicamente e psicologicamente.
I was sick for some time,
Yeah.
mentally and physically.
Criei muito problema aqui, no Sahaja.
I caused a lot of trouble here in Sahaja.
E eu quero dizer muito obrigada por vocês terem tido paciência comigo.
And I want to say thank you so much for being so patient with me.
Porque eu tenho certeza que depois desses anos, pela primeira vez, eu estou no satsang.
Because I feel, for the first time, I would say, after all this time, that I'm really in satsang now.
Eu não estava antes.
I wasn't in satsang before.
Eu só vim aqui para agradecer a você. E para dizer que você é meu amado mestre, meu verdadeiro Satguru, e que eu sou muito grata por Deus ter me dado você.
And yeah, I just want to say thank you and that you are my true master. And I'm so grateful that God gave me you.
Eu queria pedir para ir até aí, agradecer, tocar na sua mão e apenas dizer obrigada.
I'd like to come there to touch your hand and just to say thank you.
God protect you always. God send your blessings to you to save your lives. Thank you very much for staying my life. Thank you, Master.
Dear Master, of my heart.
Wonderful. 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 Thank you. No, Thank you. Okay, it's okay. It's good. Actually, when we come to some place like this, and some people are shocked because they find very sometimes bad behavior coming out of them, and it has to be a bit like that. That some things that we have not recognized until now, begin to come to the surface. Beyond your control even, they come. And we are not accustomed to thinking like that. We think, but I come here for peace, and then everything is, whoa, big tsunami is coming and everything. And I just want to reassure that it is a natural phenomenon that happens. And it is actually a good sign, because it means that something is moving, because grace has got hold of something. And now it's exposing sometimes these energies. But don't just avoid forming any firm conclusions about anything. For a while, everything is moving, and you're feeling sometimes great bliss, and other times really feeling low, and so on, because you're in God's soup pot. So something is cooking, all these things happening. Sometimes people, even the feeling to run. Why? You see. If the place had no power, you would feel nothing, you'd probably feel just bored. But no, you feel disturbed, meaning there's something, the mind, the aspect of the mind which is functioning with ego, that is being caught. And because of this, you see, it wants you, who you are not it. It wants you to keep identifying like your ego, and you run also. So I said, no, don't. Because the thing you will be running away with is the very thing you should run away from. Okay? So if that feeling comes, this is really horrible. It's going to, for a while, be looking for any kind of thing to trigger some resistance or some kind of flaw, something is not good, to try and convince you to run away. Who are you and who is it? You are the self, somehow in its dynamic portrayal as life, and as now even the seeker of truth. You see, waking up to your original state. And some forces in us that seems to work to prevent this full awakening from happening, to go as far away as you can. None of this would have been possible if it wasn't that the mind has the capacity to imitate the self, to pretend as though it is also true in that way. And it is like all the beings, we get bitten by this serpent of identity for a while. And gradually, because being the self, you have the advantage all the time, because you're always the self. It's just that you're not aware of it. And because you're not aware of it, because we are not aware of it, we are taking ourselves barely to be a person and the body-mind, then you're not firing in your full power. In your natural state, the mind has no comparison for you. It really should be your servant. But when we are identified as personhood, we are in the lowest, we are the weakest link. You see? So this is changing, because you are growing in understanding, you're discovering your natural self, your natural being, and how wonderful, as somehow the consciousness is moving to higher ground, going to higher altitude within its capacity, to, you may say, evolve in this way. On every stage you go, the layers become more pure, more harmonious, more beautiful. But in the beginning, fight is there, you see. Will the egoic psychological identity overpower you, you see? it cannot in truth, but in the play, in the dream, it can appear to do like that. So satsang is really the waking room, not just the waiting room. That you're waking up, recovering your natural understanding, your natural being, recognizing again. I say this so that we are aware that if you feel yourself feeling all terrible and stuck and so on, it doesn't mean that you are failing, actually. It means that something that has been hiding somehow is being exposed. And that thing is not you see. But the reflex is to try to protect it, because when we identify with these states, we feel vulnerable, insecure, and something wants to protect us from having this feeling, you see. So this is what waking up means. It's just waking up to the deeper understanding, a deeper recognition of our own timeless being, not a created self, you see. So, good. You first. You? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mooji.
Yes, thank you.
When I arrived at Sahaja, I was a prisoner of my circumstance, and I didn't really know that, because I can be in the isness and sink into that stillness, and it's very beautiful. But I have this set of circumstances in my life that are quite difficult. And as the week has unfolded, they've been kind of snipping at me and trying to kind of hang on to me. And I realised that I can't solve the problems that I have, not even solve them or live with them with ease. And until I transcend them, it's like I've been kind of working with my mind and being very relaxed and being in the isness, and I've been allowing a part of my person to keep going, trying to deal with something that's very difficult. And I realised when I was here that that's never going to help. Nothing will ever change if I keep on coming from my person.
Yes.
And where I need to be is in a completely different place.
Yes. The place you truly are and can never not be. You have to wake up to this one, you see? And so what happened is that, you see, you gave it away, that you listened to the invitation. At the end of the invitation, who is there? Does the ego survive the invitation?
Well, it must do, because there's a part of it that's still quite... Yeah. But in the invitation, I am the wind, I am the sun, I just expand into...
Even more than wind, you're the space in which the wind blows, and that the wind is perceived. You see? Where does a person come? The person is like a memory. It comes up again. It will come because you have a dynamic expression. You're also a person. You feel yourself as a living being and with a background and so on. And at the same time, you have experienced the immensity, the formlessness of the pure self. You see? You don't merely believe that. You've experienced that. So how do they tally up this one who seemed to have a life that has all these things going on, and you say, that one will not be free. I have to transcend this one. This one has to be transcended. It's not just its problems. The idea we have of who we are is suffering from its own projections. The idea we have of who we are is suffering from its ideas about itself. Who are we really, you see? So when you say it comes back, or maybe this thing keeps coming back, it comes back, but from the standpoint of your new seeing, it cannot come back with that virility, not with that power. It is seen more as just like some kind of shadow. It is an apparition. It doesn't have that power.
It's new. I mean, what occurred to me was that being in the person is something that I know very well.
Yes.
And it's habitual, and it's my way of being, and then I set my mind to something.
Well, let's look. You say that it is habitual, but the sense of its habitualness is also perceived. The sense of the habit even is perceived. You must really pay acute attention to that. That if that is seen, actually, something much more refined, much more subtle than the habit is here to perceive these things. You don't have to imagine now, because right there you're in the very heart of it. And if you wish, you may write down these things to be reminded of them again. You see? If these things are perceivable, if they are even in the most subtle things they're perceived, then don't identify with the thing that you perceive phenomenally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay formless.
A lot of what we talk about is about thought, but what happens when the people or a person in your life, my beautiful daughter is psychotic, and that's a label. I mean, she's lovely, but she has a different reality, and it can be really, really challenging.
Yeah.
Like coming at me with such force.
Yes.
That's, I mean, sitting here.
You know what
is
happened?
Beautiful, and I can be very still.
Well, I hear where you're going, but I'm going to chop it right there. I'll tell you why. Because actually it is grace itself that gives you these situations to say, will this be enough to remove you from me? Okay? How about this? Is this going to be enough to separate you from me? You see? Because it is not that you say, yes, I hear what you're saying. Being in Monte Sahaja is very easy, and for something to become, I'm in my element, I feel really good. But what happens when I go out there? Yeah. Sometimes I've had to say this to people, also. Put it to the test. I had one, sometime years ago, one man came into my place, and then somehow he said, I've told many of you this story, he said, in one moment of insight, he said, oh, Mooji, wow, I feel right now, I feel my beingness is filling this whole room. I said, wow, that's really good, isn't it? He said, yeah, it's really good, it's filling this room, I said, okay, what about the kitchen? He said, no, it's just inside the room. My kitchen is just right here, okay? And just inside the room. I said, go in the kitchen and see. So he's a big guy, he gets up, he walks in the kitchen. I got a very tiny kitchen, right? He said, it's in here as well, it's in here. I said, oh, it's very good. It's in the sitting room, it's in the kitchen. What about in the hallway? Oh, no. It's in the kitchen and it's in this place. Go in the hallway. He goes in the hallway, he walks, he said, it's here too. What about the bathroom? Okay, I'll go and see when it's in the bathroom. It's here too. Then I said, well, go in the garden. He said, no, definitely it's inside the apartment. Go in the garden. Okay, he goes in the garden. He says, it's here too. This was in autumn now. He says, it's fine, maybe it's to do with where you live, Mooji. But when I get home, when I go out, then it will go now and do. So he gets up, puts on his coat, and he went walking. He was gone for over half an hour. When he came back, I asked him, so what you find? He said, it's everywhere. Sometimes you have to put it to a test. You say, okay, you say this is here now. Okay? Okay, you keep moving in here-ness and tell me when you reach there-ness. Okay? Just keep moving in the ear-ness and see when I go, oh, now I'm in there. Left here and there. You never are. If you pay attention like this, it may seem like silly, a bit joke, but it is true. Sometimes we just assume, we assume. You may say, yes, but in my situation, I have a daughter, it's it's not in my control. Her way of proceeding is not in my control. Okay? But just leave that open for now and fully be here. Because maybe previously, the relationship, very strong, mother-daughter and stuff, very strong, and also very accustomed to each other. So their relationship, may feel like, wow, I can't just come out of that. But you may find that as you discover more and settle more in what you're discovering, that has an impact and an influence far beyond your trying as a person to be better. And this I've seen enough times to say, be encouraged by this. Don't expect positively or negatively. Don't expect when I go home everything is going to be fantastic, or when I go home it's going to be miserable. But if you feel, okay, when I go home it's going to, well, wait and see.
Yeah.
We don't know, actually.
All I can do is stay
as you are.
As I am. And it instead of making me want to run from the isness, it makes me want to embrace it even more.
Yes, merge in it. Don't embrace it. Be one with it. Merge in it. No? And leave the outcome of life to life. Let life take care of life. You will see it makes a big difference, you see. You don't hold any idea how it's going to be. Many times we go back, we think, okay, I'm going to go back, it's easy here, but when I go back to reality, when I go back to the reality of my life, it's going to be like that. Don't predict, you don't know. You see, you go and just go and move in your own, just move. You see, just move like this. You may even have sometimes a feeling you don't know anything at all. I don't know anything at all. I don't know anything at all. Sometimes you have this mood, I don't even know who I am. Is it a terrible thing? No. You see? So some you might move in this thing.
Thank you.
You see, because you're more than a mother, you're more than a friend, you're more than, you're more than this. Somebody calls you sister, somebody calls you daughter, somebody calls you auntie, somebody calls you mom, somebody calls you friend, somebody calls you cousin. And to all these roles, something responds totally spontaneously and appropriately. You see? Something responds like that, totally spontaneously and appropriately, without you thinking, sister, okay, yes, I'm sister. Hello, brother. You don't, no, spontaneously you do it. While at the same time knowing that you're not absolutely any of these. What is a uncle? We don't have an uncle. What's an uncle? We don't know. It's a role, it's a label, it's a role. But it's part of our culture, part of our tradition, and so we have this very intimate response. But these roles, somebody call you sister or daughter, this is my daughter, this is my friend, this is my cousin, this is my auntie, whatever it is, you respond knowing that what you are is beyond all these roles. And here in satsang, you're discovering even more. Don't even talk to anybody about it. Just quietly be immersed in and merge with this understanding. How do you merge with it? You don't know. You don't even, how you merge with something, you don't know. you just keep loving it and appreciating it. And you find that your whole way of thinking, the orientation of your thinking has changed. It's changing. For the better, you feel much more expansiveness, more lightness. Life doesn't seem to be squeezing in on you. Your experiencing of life is not claustrophobic. You feel more, this is the fruit, the evidence of your own maturing and seeing.
Thank you.
Yes. Don't take anything for granted.
Can I give you something?
Yes, come.
They're very small. But I did them last year when I was here.
Okay.
And this one was like the being.
And they went to...
I'm just telling Mooji about these little tiny paintings I did last year when I was here, because I really found myself in the isness. And I kept painting them over and over again. I brought my paints with me to do something.
Yeah.
And I kept doing these.
Yes, yeah. It's good, you know.
Do you like them?
Well, I know that where they come from is good. The gesture that they are, and where they come from. It's that which compels you to express these things. It is for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I have a quick cup?
Yeah.
It's better than an ice cream. Thank you so much. I don't have my hand up in satsang anymore.
Yeah. You don't have to have your hand up in satsang anymore. You don't know. We don't know anything. It's really good when you don't know anything. You know, you don't know. When someone asks, you know, so what would you like for breakfast tomorrow? How am I gonna know? I don't know what I want. In the moment, I would know. But beforehand, I don't. How can you know? But we are so accustomed, you see, to thinking how you feel about tomorrow. You're making it up. You don't know. Then I have found this place. I don't know. It's a very big space. The space of I know is very small. The space of I don't know is very big. I like that space. I don't know. You see, then you're not troubled. Because you've not put a shape to yourself that you have to now become. So you stay shapeless. It's beautiful. Sometimes you have to, you know, people ask things and I have no thoughts about them. And I have to pretend like I'm thinking about it. But nothing is coming, you know? It's normal thing also. Okay. Yes.
Namaste, Guruji.
Yeah.
My mind was going, not really sure what to ask, but I wanted to come up and stand here in front of you. Today is my last day. I leave tomorrow. And I feel I'm at a point where I don't have any other pursuit. I just want to finish this journey.
Okay.
And I don't have clarity of what I should do next.
Okay, okay. You say today's your last day here, you know, tomorrow. Suppose it was really, really our last day. It's still being generous, okay? Because, you know, why not the last minute? We don't know. So being generous, it looks the last day. We realize after today, no more sunrise, sunset. Last day. What is your state of being? unfinished business, what you say, I don't know what is the next, what's the move I should make. I want to be finished this journey. You say, I want to finish this journey. Is the journey itself bad? What is the journey? What is the journey? It may start rough looking. If it starts in personhood, it's quite rough. If it moves into the state of presence, it becomes nice and fun. And beyond presence into what? Pure, unblemished awareness. What is a journey? So these stages we all must experience. One, the stage of the journey based on personhood. You're on a journey of life. You're moving in life. You're discovering as much as you can about life and about yourself, or whatever. That's the first stage, and it seems very difficult. You have your dreams that get smashed and things happen, and you have a lot of expectations that don't kind of work out. You have, some things unexpectedly go beautiful for you, and then next minute something. So it's quite a roller coaster, no? But if you evolve into the stage of presence, whereby, what do I mean by presence, you see? Where you are able to observe what is the functioning of life. You're observing without actually deeply identified with it. I don't know if some of you remember, I gave an illustration before, like I saw a picture of a tree, and on one branch there was a bird building a nest. One bird is building a nest on a branch in this tree. So this bird, I took it like this bird is the bird of life. Everybody is like, for most people, they are identifying with this stage of building the nest, meaning trying to make your life more comfortable, more secure about the future, taking care of family, all these things. That's the first bird building this nest. Above this bird, on a branch just above, sits another bird, identical in appearance. But this second bird is not building any nest. It is just quietly observing. In its view is the first bird and the first bird's activities, and it can feel the wind and see the great landscape, everything. But he is not actually doing anything. So this second bird corresponds to that space within you, within our own self, from where we are simply observing life. We are simply observing. Our first bird position, even as we are in the world doing things, there is this second bird position of just quietly observing. It is observing actions, interactions, reactions, but it's not identified. It simply looks. Can you see this position within yourself or not? Yeah.
Yes.
We know of our activities in life and we have to do, and our commitments and so on and so on and so. And at the same time, at a deeper place, when I ask you to look, but just observe. Don't participate in the activity of the first bird. Just you're observing. Yeah? At a certain point, what you're observing, you may find that not only you're observing the movie in front of you, but at a certain point, you begin to observe where you're looking from. Not just watching the movie going and telling the story of the life as a movie, but you become aware of the one who is observing. When you become aware of the point where you're observing without identifying with it, already a great space has opened up in you. Some time ago, I've been sharing with some of you that there are a number of places, some of them prisons around the world, who are being introduced to this way of observing. And prisoners, who are many of them on long-term sentences, are reporting they are so happy that they have discovered that capacity within themselves to observe, and to observe with detachment. That's the second part of it. Because as they begin to observe, they saw that there were choices that could have been made, and that also times when their reactions, they identified and participated in certain actions, that if they'd stayed in the place of observing, that action would also just become a passing cloud. But they jumped on the passing cloud and got swept away into all kind of trouble and so on. As a result of this capacity of looking and observing without identifying, a number of these beings, some of them in prison, are reporting now, actually, that they've never been more free in their life. Locked up in jail, but free as a bird. What does it mean? Is it possible? Is it possible? Sometimes more free than we, who can go anywhere we want to go. But they're free internally, they're free. Internally, they're free. Now let's see if we can see if they're free eternally. What would it mean to be free, not just internally, but eternally? What does it mean? That you've come to a place where now that even the weakness of all these things that have been happening, even the second bird has also seen. When the second bird is also become an object of attention, where are you looking from? And as what are you looking, you see? Can the seer, in whose sight exists the first bird and the second bird and their worlds, can this seer itself be seen? Now you may need to take a little time and just to contemplate this, because the answers are not in words, but in experience, in revelation. And you must sit with that. Because the discoveries you are going to make, I don't want to tell you what they should be. Then I want to hear from you what you find. You follow? So you say, indirectly in response to what you've just said, and I know that you are serious about it because you asked me, can I speak with you before I go? And I suspect it must be a similar thing you want to talk about. You see, what must I be? What's the next step then? What is to do? You see, first you are identified, we have identified with a state of personhood. We have a sense that some people say, my life is so heavy, there's so many things, I don't know what to do, I have no friends, blah, 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 blah. This is always from the state of personhood. Always from the state of ego, identity, personhood, meaning that you believe that you're merely your body and your environmental conditioning, who you take yourself to be there. But as we are introduced to the ability to simply observe without becoming attached to the things you're seeing, a greater field opens up behind the things you're seeing, and you find that you are here also, you see. But now emotions are not so hot. You're not being thrown in some roller coaster of feelings. You can watch them, but at the same time, don't go into shape. You're not trapped inside the box or the bubble of any scenario or action. You are watching, but you're not sure from where are you watching all of this. That would be an experience. I don't want the answer merely in words, but if you contemplate the questions I ask, you'll discover something here. Maybe you'll not be able to speak about it, and that would be fine with me. Thereafter, wherever you go, the scenes will be changing, but the seer is unchanging. And you will intuitively and spontaneously come to know what you cannot know by study. You cannot learn merely by books. When I have the opportunity to share these things, moment by moment, frame by frame, I like to take that so that we can experience together the true place of being. So here in Sahaja, we are playing the invitation on a regular basis. Every day you can come and simply sit and listen and follow through and see what you're being shown, what you're being guided to see. It's like you're being guided to see something which cannot be seen by merely just the eyes. How can you see that which is formless? Unless you yourself are formless. You say you're leaving tomorrow. When you follow like this, I would not be concerned about wherever you go, what will happen. I know it will be fine for you. That you will keep honoring your seeing, and it will keep bearing fruit. And this is a fruit, as I say before, a fruit that keeps getting sweeter and sweeter, but never becomes oversweet. It never decays.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yes, very good.
Because I've learned so much from you, and my life definitely it surprises me how easy it has become to just be. And I guess it's just not that interesting anymore.
What is not interesting?
There's no pursuit, no other pursuit. The only obsession is to know myself.
Yeah.
So
the obsession will become a joy. Use the word obsession, meaning that the strong urge within to discover that will transmute into pure joy. Pure joy, you see. It's not a strain. It's not hard work. It only feels hard work if we're retaining the ego and trying to be free.
Can I come?
Yes, okay. And where are you going back to?
US.
US, okay, good.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you. It's a long flight to California, no?
Yeah, 13, 14 hours.
Oh.
I hope to be back soon.
Okay, good. Thank you. What's the best we can do today? What's the highest we can go? The deepest we can discover? Okay.
Thank you. Hello, Mooji.
Hello.
I don't know. I'm bigger now. I don't know. It's. I feel more close. Or you. I don't know. I come to speak with you for real, and of all respect, I'm not alone. I never felt alone. Yeah. And it's like I'm speaking English. My language. It's not English. I listen, and I appreciate for the people speaking to me, and I learned that. And I don't understand really everything, but tell me I can use the way to understand everything. I would like to feel your energy in the way possible for me. This is my way. And I'm very happy to know I'm here with you, with all these people, in trying to put energy to outside. Because this is like the church speaking with a priest. Preach, no, like I did this, and yeah, some people have so many things to go out, and and I'm happy people like you exist, and I meet you in the trip. Somebody told me, "Oh, you have to know Mooji," and where is this person? And I live here in Portugal, and I know you are 6 years, and I just know you the last year, and I don't know. It's nice to see everything, and you create good things, and sometimes it's like fighting with me about this kind of things, because I belong where I am, but like see your eyes, I see my eyes either, you know, and I feel comfortable because I feel you are a good person, and I feel natural either, and not fighting. But sometimes I'm fighting, and it's not with me, it's to be. And how is possible to share when it's somebody not like you? Tell you the truth. But for me, sometimes it's difficult to have friends like this. Like you cut the hair, and I see like, wow. And I don't like, but I'm a friend. I have to say, maybe I like, no?
I didn't get this part, no.
Like, yeah, if somebody cut the hair, if he's a close friend.
If they cut.
Just example, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, but they cut the hair, okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because in the life, the people you want to share the best, I think. And sharing the best is doing things.
Well, they just want to explore also. People just want to explore. You have from children, no? You put them, want to explore, to discover something natural. No? Mm-hmm. So, and you want to try things out. We try different ways to be or something. So I let the people do what they want, they do. Of course, if it's some things in a space like this to get the best out of it after the time together, then I may say something like, maybe that's not such a good idea right now to focus on these things. Try and do this, because this is the particular offering here, you know? But to tell people, do this, don't do this, I don't like so much, no? Except when it is necessary, and if they're open, then it's different. Mm-hmm. So, so sometimes you may find that in life generally it's not so easy to express these type of things with people because they're not open to that. Sometimes they're not open. They think you're strange if you talk about, look, I observe my mind. They can behave like this also, you know. Mm-hmm. And people, we learn energetically also who you're comfortable to speak with. Some people, for the first time you may meet them, and they start to cry. We don't even have time to say hello yet. They are crying. Why? Because somehow they maybe feel a vibration of love or openness and feels natural, and so something inside doesn't have to hide anymore. They can just relax. And that relaxation can come out in crying also. It can be a joyful crying. You see, so it is true, you're right, that you don't necessarily find it so easy to speak with people. On the more deeper you go, maybe the less people you can speak with also.
I like to write. And it's like when I pass, I like to still equal or better. And so
when you do what?
when I pass in some place,
Yes.
I would like to, if I see a place I want to be there,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to keep this place like you have before, you know? Yeah, and because I like, is why I choose this place. Is because I like, if I put something more, I can like more, but after I don't, it's like,
Yes.
I keep more things, and after it's not my space, it's not the same space, it's something else.
You know, so great is the world and so great is God. He gives everybody space to try out everything. Some people don't like this, some people like this way. We can try.
But yeah, like words, it's you can, I can go out of here speaking, you know, but the world, it's not just here. The world is outside, and the world, the people. Maybe if it's hot now or if it's cold, I appreciate because I did the best for keeping this way. But if I don't do nothing, I think the world is. I accept why the world going, you know. But I think you have attention on everything. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Be attention, you know. Be attention is like I speak with a friend. Like attention is love. Attention is big care. And I care about this. And I like this place. I like this place because you don't change too much. You just make this place a little more for the people. Stay, come, and enjoy it. This is what I like very much. And I'm staying here. Thank you. Thank you for... And I have I sleep in a camping, in a tent, and I have a tent. And it's, I don't know, it's, wow. And I'm happy there. I don't know, I think the way to come here and to approach, it's everybody made for each other. One like one. And thank you.
Thank you.
Mooji.
Thank you. Thank you. Come.
You just called me. I was down there. It's very good. Something very good happening.
Hmm?
It's very good what is happening.
It feels good. Yes.
It seems there are no words, but it's important too. It's hard to ask for more, but can I come up?
Okay, come.
I'm fully yours. You are. I don't know. You're just here.
was so hard to take the space, you know. I was listening to him, and just somehow I just needed to come up, and I couldn't interrupt him, you know. But I just don't give space. I don't know.
The life here that is exploring and looking and discovering more and more the self that really is in us, you know. It's quite deep here in Monte Sahaja, you know? The beings are given the space to really look, not just to experiment, but to really look and to discover the power and the beauty of true human life. And the more that you are established in your own heart, no? And then it's not that you have to say so much. Your very presence is your message. It's not that you have to convince anybody. I'm talking because people ask things, okay, we can see, you know, okay, seems to be too much focus on this thing, leave this for a while, and so it's easy to direct, if you're open, it's easier to direct something, and so you come back just to the clear seeing. If somebody wants knowledge, wants a lot of knowledge, okay, yeah, knowledge is not such a big deal, you know. Because people come, there are generally two kinds of questions. One question we call knowledge questions, when people want to know about, you know, what happens after you die, and what's the consciousness of so and so. But then there are another kind of question we call freedom questions, meaning that the question you ask when you just want to transcend the psychological attacks from the ego mind or something, you see. There's a kind of urgency about that, and we look like that. But being here in this energy field of Sahaja, and the beings are becoming much more sensitized. You see the clues that life offers, you know. You're not just living in a little bubble. Something is much broader than your bubble, and you sense things. You become more intuitive, more sensitive to life, subtle suggestions. And the more you pick these up, the more the consciousness is just flowing with so much grace and so much joy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bala. Thank you. I take you for now.
Thank you, Guruji. I would like to check with you if I'm on the right way.
Okay.
As you said before, sometimes mind pretend to be free, and maybe it's
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The mind is there for you to transcend its cunningness, in a way, no? Because for a while we say, oh, my mind is doing this and it's saying this and so on and so on. So the more you become clear as to your own true self, the less influence, the less power and virility the psychological mind will play in your life. It's like you overcome that you overcome its voice. You see? Because there are some people, when something comes from the mind, they instantly believe it. So you're very easily influenceable. So someone says something, you say something bad about someone else, and you pick it up like it's your own thing. You see? This doesn't happen when you become more established in the truth. It's just very, very clear. And even these tendencies of people, they don't find that they want to talk to you because there's no space in you for that. So we have to overcome. And you use it, You have to use the things that mind say, to look at them, to see what is the truth of them. You have to exercise your own discerning capacity to look and to evaluate, whether this is based on truth, is it personal? That's another easy way. How often are you functioning only from person? And this is why I say you can go into any restaurant or any public place, sit quietly, have an orange juice and just listen to the conversations, because there are plenty. Listen to the conversations and see if you can evaluate on what basis people are speaking. What are they relating to each other as, and from themselves as what? And you will see that almost always it's personhood. My person, your person, your person, my person. And you have a sense of how virile the identity of personhood is in the human kingdom. And the one who is free must transcend this mode of consciousness. And it's not difficult. First of all, you are already the thing that you are searching for. That's if even a search has begun in you yet. Because sometimes we can be in a state of personhood totally unaware of the possibility that exists for you to wake up into your Christ consciousness, or Shiva being, whatever way you want to call it. Into the pure, unpolluted consciousness, undistorted. So in an environment like this, where truth is venerated, God is venerated, you're in the highest climate and environment for your spiritual evolution and growth. And what harm is it going to do? What harm is it going to do to discover yourself? No harm. You stop making harm. So mind you will come to see that's the easy way, not just if what the mind is saying, good or bad, but more if it is personal or not. If it is personal, quickly detect that this is, you cannot be the person. The only time you can be in deep sorrow and in a state of problematic life is by being pulled back into personhood. Because the pure self cannot experience problems. It's such a high way. It's so high in all its ways. It doesn't have hatred or jealousy or envy or desire or attachments, you see. It's in the personhood mode of consciousness that these things come. And gradually we transcend them, because why? They are our sickness. And my way of putting a true human being is someone who is open and kind. And someone once asked Papaji, when will mankind, this is Papaji, my master, when will mankind, really evolve into his true nature? When will mankind evolve into his true nature? He said, when mankind becomes kind man. What is kind man? Meaning free of ego, free of enmity, free of anger, free of lies, free of delusion. Then alone you can live in peace, as peace also.
It's like as you give us this example with the change of money. You know, it's like new kind of life, but sometimes it's like from memory, this ego relationship, and it's only really few things what activates this old regime of ego.
Relationships are going to continue. The difference is that the more people are true to themselves, you see, the more you're true to yourself, the less you will tolerate relationships which are not being lived in truth. It's not that it is against the relationship. Relationship is play of life also. But you will not compromise on the truth you have discovered. You will not put any relationship above that. And that is wisdom, you see? So, of course, you know, the flow of life and things that you're accustomed to through tradition and so on, they will come. But they will be lived at and experienced at higher levels of consciousness, from higher states of consciousness. You see? How far can the person go? In a sense, the person is compelled into states of evolution also. That's the big river of consciousness, that you are growing more, you're encouraged by life to become more open, more kind, more appreciative, more respectful and things like this. But we don't always are going like this. Sometimes you drop back and something. Sometimes you're very good in one area, another area very, very poor. And so that's the general way. But that is to do with the paradigm called a personhood. You see? As you are discovering what I'm pointing to, you see, you can't evolve the consciousness. You cannot evolve the truth. You cannot improve it. It is already pure. But you can improve the person. You cannot improve the truth.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's beautiful to live without wishes, without desire, and it's But
yeah.
But
not if you are doing it.
No.
It's like, okay, today I'm not going to desire anything. No, you cannot do it. You see? It's just that as you discover your true place, you find that there's less desire there, or there's no desire there. Because it's complete. What does it want? It's complete. And yet it is not selfish. Isn't it?
It's something still what I would like to ask.
Okay.
It's a big river, intimate relationships. And I'm not sure if it's just from memory, this wish, okay, to be, to have a family. It's a classic question, probably. I feel somehow I fall in love with life itself, because I see I'm complete. I don't really need something to be more happy or to be more free. But time to time, this wish, yes. And I don't know, is it like from conditioning? It's only what culture and society or family to put in my head, and it stay like.
But you must say, is it coming from family or just emerging from within your own self?
I don't know,
you know?
Because it's not really a wish, like to have it. I don't.
Okay, so why you were talking about it then? Okay. Because it's a topic, isn't it, for you?
It's
no?
something
Okay.
like many times we drop it some wishes, something from past, something what it's on the way, and pick it up again.
Yeah, if you feel I'm going to drop this, you know, that's one way it can come back up again. But if you have transcended it by understanding and be grounded in your own self. If it comes, the thing with the relationship and so on, it may find that it's also quite harmonious. That could also happen of an expression. No? You see, it's not that the self, the truth, is against relationships. No, it's that you're at a better place to somehow experience one and still grow through a relationship and so on. But you're not actively looking out. It's not like you're saying, "Wow, it's really my time. I'm in season or something." It's more. Sorry, I shouldn't say like that. So it's okay, right. But okay, that sometimes these desires, they come in waves, and it feels like whoa, this becomes something again. I would like to trust you on that, to say that you stay with your heart. It will guide you in that moment. If you're not dreaming about it and so on, you get carrying on, and like everything else, it has its time. Then it's more likely than whatever it is, whether it's a relationship with a person or with something else or something. It feels integrated, integral, and harmonious. And you don't have to, it doesn't become a topic. It just feels true. You feel happy. You feel grateful, even like this. This is good. But if you have thoughts like you are not complete without someone, it'd be a bit dangerous thoughts to do.
I'm very happy and very thankful.
Yeah.
For all what you say, because it's all true. It's really, it's like the understanding happened on different levels.
Yes.
So it's like from 100% first, it's maybe only 10%, and it goes more and more and more, and understanding happened here and also here.
Yes.
And if it's go together, so I'm working with very easy people, and somehow your pointings go through me to them. We don't speak about consciousness, but somehow the topic about happiness, all people can feel that it's very important.
Yes. It's good also to use just
yes.
regular words also.
Yes.
Huh? You don't have to, otherwise maybe you're trying to show off or to impress people, and it doesn't work out so good. Happiness is okay, Happiness is not a word for consciousness.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah.
Love you very much.
Love you too. Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Guruji.
Where did you come from? Okay, let's go.
Guruji, I just feel to stand here and we speak about half of my brother and sister in the Middle East that recently have very intensive time, and they cannot be here, but their heart are with us, and to ask for the blessing for the peace in this area and also for the whole world, that I can feel and I can see in my country and other countries in Middle East, there are lots of pressure at the moment, and sometimes it goes beyond of their limitation. And I feel just few words from a Sufi master that was living in Iran around 800 years ago. His name is Sadi, and we grown up with his words at school, and he always mentioned about oneness and we are one.
Yes.
Just have these words, and if you feel like we go for this prayer for whole world and all brothers and sisters that it feels they need our help.
Yes.
He said, I said first in Persian these few words. بنی آدم اعضای یکدیگرند که در آفرینش ز یک گوهرند. چو عضوی به درد آورد روزگار دیگر عضوها را نماند قرار. Human beings are different organs of one body. We are created from the same essence, the same clay. One be troubled by pain, others would suffer.
Yes.
So I just feel that
it is our, it's a great privilege to have the feeling inside the heart of goodwill towards all people, you know, and that we pray for a world of real peace, but a peace that's also shaped out of compassion and understanding and appreciation for who we are. If we believe in that there is only one God and there's one truth, you know, and that is expressing in so many diverse ways, but is one in essence, then somehow our life is that living prayer also. And it is that, because don't make a judgment from one person against another one, although I know on the surface we have these things playing. But here we just have this prayer for all mankind, because if an Israeli child is hurt, I hurt. If an Arab child is hurt, I hurt also. If a Muslim is hurt, I am hurting. If Christian is hurt, I am hurting. If Hindu is hurt, I am hurting. If atheist hurt, I am hurting. So my prayer must be for everybody like this, no? And it continues like that as long as God puts breath in this body. One's life must be for this. If my life is only for me, I don't want it. So for not just Middle East, but all over the world, wherever there are conflicts, in families also, in neighbors, all these things, they come, you know. Let our attitudes be that peace be upon you and God's blessing be upon you, to be healed of our apparent differences, because much of what we fight over is so superficial. When we know who we are in the heart, no, then these things will not matter so much. You will not want to hurt someone. But yes, challenging times, and yes. May these conflicts come swiftly to an end, to be resolved in genuine understanding. And for this reason, I would pray for all the leaders of the world, in whatever realms they operate in, you know, that they grow more wise and more kind and are supported by a deeper understanding. May God's grace shine upon everyone. And may truth become contagious again. And the real love for starting with God. Everything becomes easy. Starting from man, everything becomes hard. So be it. As a blessing, I said that may each and everyone who longs for the truth comes to the complete awakening to the timeless being, and be happy, and may your light be bright in this world. And may you so be absorbed and merged in the truth, because it is totally available. May each one become so absorbed in that understanding, that life, that whoever you meet on the way of life, that they are also becoming so inspired by meeting you. That they're so moved by your light and openness, compassion, and your silence and joy, your peace and love. May they be so inspired that they are compelled to seek within themselves to find the light that they see in you, and also come to find peace and joy. Let it be so. Amen. Thank you. We'll come to the close now of this satsang for today. Usually at this time we take a break. We'll have some music, and those can get prepared for that, who are going to do that. And those of you who have to leave now, you're welcome to, during the break, to take some chai. I think some has been prepared for you. Following this, I will come back for another, maybe 40 minutes or so, to read some of the letters that come in. Some letters come each day, and the only time I get a chance to really look at them is today. So sometimes you come back and I read some, and it's a very good part of satsang also. So those of you who feel you'd like to be here for this, you go and take some chai, and you can come back as soon as we're finished. It's generally about 20 minutes to half an hour or so. And yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, you can.
Thank you for your grace, for your holiness, and for the love which is spreading all over the world. And I have no words for my gratitude, but this song is also for the whole world and for each heart.
Peace be to all, and the world be free. Peace be to you. Peace be to me. Peace be to all, and the world be free.
Thank you.
That's one other.
Thank you.
It's not short. It came this morning and I heard it the whole time. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Alleluia, alleluia. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Alleluia, alleluia. Thank you, all of you. We are all in Guruji's heart, we are all this heart, and it's so clear, it's so here. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a few verses from the Avaruta Gita. Everywhere, always, and in everything, know this: the self alone exists. Everything, both the great void and the manifest world, is nothing but myself. Of this I am certain. There are no divine scriptures, no world, no imperative religious practices. There are no gods, no classes of race of men, no stages of life, no superior or inferior. There is nothing but the Brahman, the supreme reality. The subject and object are inseparable. That undivided one is your own self. When this is so, when no other exists, how could the self be objectively perceived? Non-duality is taught by some. Some others teach duality. They don't understand that the all-pervading reality is beyond both duality and non-duality. There is no color or sound to the one reality. It has no qualities at all. How can one even think or speak of that which is far beyond both the mind and speech? When you know all this universe of forms to be as vacant as the sky, then you will know the supreme reality. Duality will forever cease to be. To some, the self appears as other. To me, the self is I, like undivided space. One alone exists. How then could the subject and object of meditation be two? Nothing of what I do or eat or give or take exists for me. I am purity itself, beyond birth and death. Know that the whole world, know that the whole of the universe is without any form. Know that the whole of the universe is forever unchanging. Know that the whole of the universe is unsustained by its contents. Know that the whole of the universe is of the nature of God. You are the ultimate reality, have no doubt. The self is not something known by the mind. The self is the very one who knows. How then could you think to know the self? Maya, Maya, how could that be? A shadow? A shadow? It does not exist. The reality is one. It is everything. It is all-pervasive. Nothing else exists. I have no beginning, nor middle, nor end. I have never been, nor will I ever be bound. By nature, I am stainless. I am purity itself. This I know for certain. I always recognize everything as the one indivisible reality. That undivided one constitutes the world, the void, all space, and the five elements. Sunbathing?
Thank you, Mooji. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you. Finally, I know what I have to know. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Take it. Your trust, I disappear.
What does it say?
In your truth, I disappear. In your jaws. In my jaws. In my jaws, I was a lion.
The lion will love now.
We're married now. This is fantastic. Yeah, of course I do. What is it? Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. We'll be here for some time. We'll be here a bit. We'll be here for some time.
We just came today. Come back for the visitors.
Yes, yeah.
I'd like to sit, but then I have to go back to December. Weeks. It is possible to come back.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Wonderful. love you.